this is how I felt last night watching Taylor and Brandon on that hidden camera in the apartment. Y'all, this is the review for Married at First Sight season 10, whatever the episode number is. Why were they playing with us last night? I was y'all, that camera, I'm telling you, I was so tickled by it. But we gonna get into the review. Now I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know right now. I know I got some new people here. First of all, that's my recycling in the back. I forgot to take it again. I'm not living out of my car. It's not a trash can. I just forgot to take it by the center again. But anyway, I'm gonna let y'all know I've been up since the wee hours of the morning. I've been trying to get to the bag, supplement this income as best I can. We not working right now. Ship people, I know y'all understand. Y'all been out there trying to get it too, but I am sleepy and I'm a little delirious, and so I'm gonna be laughing a lot. I'm probably gonna miss some stuff. I'm probably gonna be skipping over stuff. I'm just letting y'all know now. I don't really know how the review is going to go. I don't sound sleepy, but that's because I'm trying to push my way through. Hello to all of you new subscribers. I really appreciate it, but I know y'all only came because y'all heard me drag Katie the other day. And I don't normally do that. I don't normally drag unless it calls for it. So I hope y'all didn't come to get another drag session today, because you probably not gonna get it. I don't know what you're gonna get today. It's a surprise. It's gonna be a surprise to me. But I do got some notes. Let's see if I can get through them. Okay. I'm telling you, that camera. So Brandon didn't show back up to the house. Taylor thought he was gonna show back up, and she feels like the fact that Brandon did not show up means they aren't on the same page about the relationship. I said, you think, Taylor? What made you think that y'all weren't on the same page? I wouldn't have guessed it. But Taylor apparently is surprised by that. She said that Michael did try to take up for Brandon the other night and say that Brandon really does care about her. He really did want to come back. He really does want to work on their marriage. But Brandon has a problem with production and the cameras, and he doesn't really want to do all of that with them, but he does care about Taylor. And Taylor says, you know what, I need to hear that from him though, not from Michael. And Michael got his own situation, because he also tells people that he really cares about Mika and wants to work on his marriage, but Mika doesn't feel that. As a matter of fact, Mika doesn't even want to leave. She actually is dreading getting back in the car with Michael. They're not really speaking to each other. Why is Taylor still there? It's a couple's trip. You can feel free to leave. Your man's not coming back. She in there getting breakfast on with Jessica and Austin. So I guess I'll go ahead and get Mika and Michael out the way, because I think I got them in my notes first. Actually, these two are literally funny to me now, but they've been funny the whole time. So Michael wants to do a reset to make up for the fact that he was gone, so they're gonna go to the apple orchard. They took like a hayride, and I would have been here for all of that, because I am a country girl. I love all of that country, foresty type fun time. So I would have been here for it, but they're not really talking to each other on the way there. They're not talking to each other during the activity. They don't really talk to each other on the way home. And Mika's really aggravated by the whole thing, because she feels like Michael says one thing, but then he behaves another way, like he doesn't even want to be around her. And she's not sure if Michael is really serious about working on this marriage. I said, you think? This is the you think episode. You think? What made you draw that conclusion, Mika? I thought y'all were getting along swimmingly. But, the straw that broke the camel's back for Mika during the apple orchard was when he went and took the pudding and all the stuff he wanted out the lunch bag for himself and gave Mika the leftovers. So, of course, once that happens, Mika does what she does best, and she reads Michael from the windows to the wall. So, one thing about Mika, and I know some people are going to not like this, but I've said it in earlier episodes. One thing about Mika is once she get to talking, it's like she don't stop. And I got this way about me too, as y'all can tell. But like she ain't letting you get a word in edgewise. Her communication skills are up here. So once she get to talking and telling you her point, she is going to tell you her point down to the nth degree, and that is exactly what she does both in the car and at the apple orchard. Like, I feel like, this is what you always do. You really don't want to be a part of this marriage. I can't do the fast Baltimore talk. I'm country. But she was like, you always do this. You gave me the leftovers. It's like, you don't really want to work on this marriage. This is just showing me that you really don't want to put me first. I don't think you want to put me first. You say you want to put me first, but I don't feel like you put me first. I don't feel like you put this marriage first. And you left, and then you did this, and then you did that. And she was in the car saying all of that. Now I agree with everything Mika was saying up until the point where she got to where she said that she is carrying the marriage. I'm going to disagree here. I feel like she's done the most talking in the marriage, and she has done the most trying to like map out and understand what's going on with the marriage. I think she has done that, but we can't ignore when they had their honeymoon issues, like those first 3 or 4 episodes. I think Michael really was giving it a go. Now granted, I think he might have been telling some embellishments even early on then, but I think he really was giving it a go and really putting forth effort. And sometimes Mika, she would be kind of standoffish, or she wouldn't really talk to him, and she wasn't smiling a lot, and I think she was still pissed off about the whole sex thing. And it started off rocky, but I think he was putting forth effort in the beginning. Somewhere in the middle they switched places, which I said last episode, and now Mika's doing a lot more of the effort, and Michael's really just kind of sitting back. And I don't know. I just feel like they switched roles pretty much. And Michael's just sitting there, at some points it looked like he's smirking. It's like he's enjoying the fact that he has her riled up. And I really do think he is. But when they get back to the house, he put his Black Power shirt back on, and they have a conversation again. And right when Michael's about to talk, Mika says, "Can I go first?" I said, "See, that's what I've been talking about, girl. You always get to talk. You always talking." I bet she used to get in trouble in school for talking too much. I know I did. So she says that she just really doesn't feel like, again, Michael is putting this marriage first. He isn't really putting forth the effort. She feels like she's putting in more of the effort than he is. And when Michael does get to say his point, he says that at a time where he needed Mika to be vulnerable with him, when his uncle passed, she was just sitting there looking at him, and he felt some type of way about that. And Mika says, "Well, I understand I could have been more vulnerable with you, and I could have been more understanding, but I feel like we could work on both issues at the same time." While I do get her point, in a marriage where 2 people actually care about each other, I would probably table all that. Like, even if it was with a friend of mine and we had some issues, and actually I've actually been through something like this, so I can speak from experience. I've tabled a personal issue for a death in the family or a death of a loved one. We can table all that. We'll get back to that. I haven't forgot about it, but right now, let me just be there for you. I've actually had to do that before, with a friendship, not with a husband, but I understood what he was trying to tell her. And in a normal marriage where bonds and trusts and all of that stuff hadn't been broken, and y'all actually liked each other, those are the things that I would hope would naturally happen. I was impressed with Mika when she finally did say, "Well, I apologize," because I actually should have done that, because I didn't think she was going to apologize, but she did do so. So I was glad that she actually did that, because in spite of everything, when you're going through a death, you know what I'm saying? Like, when somebody's going through a death, you want to comfort them. Now, granted, she might have not have believed them, and that might have been the problem. But you should want to. Even if it was an enemy, I would still want to not necessarily hug them, but try to be understanding. So I think that's all they probably was looking for at the time. Then we roll on. He meets with his sister. She meets with her mama. Mika mama looked like she ready. Her name is Tamika. Okay, not to be confused with Mika, but Tamika. And she looked like she ready to to go to gin and juice night at the club herself. But Mika talked to her mama just like she talked to everybody else. She just get to going. I feel like I didn't know it was going to be like this, and there were a lot of things I didn't expect. And I feel like divorce is not an option. Divorce is not an option for me, but I didn't know that everything was going to be like this. I feel like there's still a lot of things that we have to work on, both individually and together. She was just going, and Mika mama was like, well, whatever Mika decided to do, I support her. That was her stance. I think the sister gave Michael some real talk. When you get in a corner and you feel like you're about to not really open up about why you're telling these lies, you need to go ahead and be honest and give your reasons, because when you continue to lie, you actually are worsening the situation. You're not making it better. You think you're making it better, but you're not. And know that you are enough, which I think is really, really good advice. Michael says that he realized he had a lot of triggers that he needs to work on, and he does. I think we've all said that he probably needs to go get him some help. The only issue that a lot of us are having with Michael is he probably should have got the help before he came onto this particular show, because I don't know, I just feel like you should try to come to people as whole as you can. I know nobody's going to be perfect, but If you know you got your SHIT with you and it's pretty serious, but maybe it took the show for him to truly realize it, then try to handle that before you get married, and especially before you have kids. I always say kids should not have to deal with all your effed up mental issues, okay? One thing for your wife or your husband have to deal with it, but your children, no. So, later when him and Mika go out, they come to some type of weird common ground where Michael is taking accountability for everything that he's done, and Mika is just so impressed that he's finally doing this. I ain't even got time to talk about it like that, y'all, because they not finna pull the wool over on my eyes. Y'all wait until the night before decision night to decide y'all want to get along and everything's all hunky-dory. Whatever, child. I ain't got time for that. We gonna move on, but that's what happened, y'all. That's what they trying to make us believe happened anyway. I know what y'all trying to do. F you. Next. Let's see what's up. Okay, let's go ahead and go in with Katie and Derek. Katie and Derek are leaving, and Katie sees a turtle on the side of the road, and every part of my body wanted to say, run, turtle, run, turtle, run. But she gets the turtle, and she wants to keep it, which I don't understand. I feel like the turtle was probably just trying to get across the road to get to whatever creek they reside in, which is their hometown. I don't understand why y'all want to be snatching stuff up out the wild and then putting it in a cage. That has never made sense to me, okay? Unless you're dealing with some type of endangered species and y'all got a program, you know, the turtle's gonna be all right. Let him do what he do. Help him get across the street, if anything. So now the turtle crawling all over the floor. He want to get out. And they go to some little place where you can put your lock on and you throw your key and you can make a promise to one another. Very sweet, right? Very nice. Katie, I mean, the definition of flip the script. We were just smiling and having a good time. But by the time they get to the location and it's time to make a promise, oh, she done flipped it on us, right? So Derek wants to make a promise that, excuse me, I had a little burp. Derek wants to make a promise that they will always, let me see if I can find it. I don't want to say it wrong. Oh, let's promise each other that we're always going to be a team, because they were trying to figure out what their promise is going to be. And Katie wants to say, let's promise that we'll always make each other happy. And Derek said, yeah, if we're always making each other happy, then we're going to do it as a team, right? Hopefully. And she was like, well, I think we should just, promise to make each other happy whether we're together or not. I said, you know what? See, this is how people get slapped. And I ain't saying Derek should have slapped her, but I'm saying I can understand how people get into altercations when folks say stuff like this. Like, quit playing with me, Katie. See, if I was Derek, I would have been like, okay, well, if you want to do it like that, I'm going to go get my own lock and make my own promise to me and me only. And you get your own lock and you make your own promise to you and you only. Because ain't no point in us making a promise together if the promise is going to be for if we're apart. That doesn't make sense to me. So I would have went back in the house and said, lady, can I please get another key? Because she don't want to make promises with me. She got her own promises to make. And the entire time they're talking, she's like holding decision day over his head. Like, do you think I'm going to say yes? Do you believe I'm going to say yes? Well, we'll just have to see about that. And somebody on Twitter called it very accurately. They said that Katie has the attitude of an attractive woman. And I was just like, yes. And she really could lose some of that, like, for real. But when they go and meet up with their parents, Derek mentions that there's been some personality clashes, to which his sisters, she peep games. Your sisters do that, okay? We kind of already see it coming from the dough. And she ain't really feeling the stuff that he's talking about in regards to Katie and their personality clashes. Now, I will say that Derek's daddy gave him real talk, where he basically was just like, when you deal with somebody, you can't assume that things are going to change. You have to take people for who they are at the time and not think that whatever you have going on is going to change them. You got to take people for who they are. That's really, really good, solid advice. And I think he was telling Derek two things. Like, either you going to accept her and everything she comes with, including the personality clashing, or you're going to let it go. Or he could have also been saying, you should accept her. So Derek could have took it either way, but I think he's thinking in his mind he should accept her, because when Katie goes to meet with her dad, oh, it's all about Derek is a boy and things just aren't really going that well. And, I expected a man, like, I was expecting to date somebody who was in their 30s, like, maybe a little gray beard. And I was like, everybody that turns 30 doesn't go gray, but okay. I was expecting to date somebody who was really a lot more mature. Katie, you couldn't have been expecting that, because let me tell you something about a grown man. If you would have come at a grown man with the shenanigans that you have come at Derek with, not only would you have gotten cussed out, but you would have got cussed out without explanation. He probably wouldn't have even have shown back up. He would have just left you exactly where you were. Okay? He would not have put up with all of your foolishness. So no, you didn't think you was getting no grown man. Not with that attitude, you wasn't. Because grown men, I'm telling you, they do not have time for that. They will cut you off with a quickness. Okay? They don't really got time for the headache. It ain't whatever's going on down there. It ain't even worth all that. They'll soon as pay for it. Before they have to listen to your mouth. Okay, grown men, y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, but yeah, they don't have time for all that. So Katie continues to go on, and daddy is just looking at her like, I can't believe I raised such a fool. Because even the daddy disagrees that he's a good family boy, he got good values, and some people just take a little longer to grow up. But I still don't see where this childishness is. If anything, then they both childish, if she want to play it like that. But she's just as baby-like in her antics, in my opinion. But even the daddy was looking at her like, girl, hush. Like, he know what's up. And when your own family looking at you and they taking somebody else's side, that just let me know all the ruckus that you probably have caused. He even said, how are you? Are you like you are now? Because you could even scare me off right now if I wasn't your father. I said, thank you, daddy, for letting her know. Because, sometimes the daddies don't always keep it real, because that's your baby. But daddy kept it real, and I appreciate it. And that's how we know that Katie is a B-word, on camera, off camera, in the family, outside of the family, in the marriage, outside of marriage, that she is who she is. So when she get back with Derek, they go to the melting pot. She's still holding decision day over his head. Poor Derek is still sitting there trying to be as accommodating as he can. Got the backwards cap on. He did look like a child at the table. But he's still trying to tell her that he really hopes that she says yes, and he really hopes that they're both are going to decide to choose each other, because he still wants to do this, and he still wants to work on the marriage. And honey, she just flipping around her little, I guess that's fondue, and she just, well, I don't know. We'll just have to see what them doggone chins, or lack thereof. I was just like, girl, you think you are a way bigger deal than you actually are. Derek I don't usually do this because I don't like to down women, but like in the looks, when it comes to your looks, I don't like to down women in that way. But Derek could pull differently. Derek could pull me, if he was interested. But I'm just like, girl, you really ain't all that you think you are. You need to really pipe down, honestly. But they was dragging her on social media, child, and it's kind of par for the course. Derek says, I did talk to my dad, and I let him know sometimes when you're stressed, it can be a little hard to be around you. And here she go. Now she turned on. I'm telling you, nobody has time for this. Well, when sometimes I can be that way. And when I'm that way, you just have to let me know, call me out, be mean to me, tell me I'm being a B word if I am. What is wrong with you? Why don't you want somebody to talk to you nice? Why don't you want somebody to treat you right and make you feel special? Why do you want somebody to talk to you badly? Why are you used to that kind of behavior? Why do you want that? Please don't let her be the representation, y'all. Please. For anybody who think this is how it go, she is not the representation. I want somebody to talk to me nice. I don't want you to call me the B word. I don't want you to grab me. I don't want you to do any of that. I'm not trying to have you catch a charge. Do not put your hands on me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go in the other room. You go in the other room. I don't want any of that, Katie. Why do you want that? Are you so used to doing the chasing and being treated bad that now you think that bad is good? Is that how warped your mind is? You need to pull out them psychology books and do some psychology on yourself. That don't make no sense. None. I'm sick of her. Let's move on. Taylor meets up with the homies. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm not saying nothing about Taylor's friends. I'm not saying nothing about Taylor's friends. I could say I'm not saying nothing about Taylor's friends, but they have Taylor's back 100%. They them type of friends. A bunch of yes men don't really tell her when she wrong. Think Brandon is so extra childish, and Brandon has done her so extra wrong, and she shouldn't even say yes on decision day. But Taylor got one up. She got one for y'all, because Brandon has said that he will not be coming back unless production apologizes. And him and Taylor are going to be hanging out without the cameras, which they did do, and we had to peep in on their couch life. And there was a lot going on that couch. But I'll say this about Taylor and Brandon. I respect the fact if Brandon doesn't want to film anymore, that's fine. As far as him getting an apology, nobody's going to give you an apology because you signed the contracts and you decided what you was going to do. And if you didn't want to be a part that first time when you had to show out, if you felt like they was doing too much and playing y'all against each other and you didn't really like the setups, again, you could have left them. But somebody told me that y'all get paid per episode, and I think it's like $20,000 y'all get at the end, or $15,000. I've heard 15 and I've heard 20. To me personally, I hope it's more than 15, because 15 wouldn't have been worth me getting up here and ruining any part of my reputation. But different strokes, different folks. But yeah, I respect them not doing it, but I'm just saying, if you don't want to be in front of the cameras, leave, because that's what's in the contract. And if you think you're gonna get an apology from a production staff that's been paid to do a job just like you've been paid to do a job, I just don't think you're going to get it. I don't think you're going to get it. That's like me going to a daycare full of bad kids, knowing that I don't really like kids, but I'm going to just kind of try it out. And then when one of the kids, push me and I fall down and shatter my knee, I want an apology from everybody, because one of the kids that push me, kids going to be kids, teens going to be teens, people going to be people, production going to be production, and you going to be you. So just go ahead and go home, if you don't want to film no more. That's how I feel. Anyway, let's move on. Taylor feels like things have been going better without the cameras, so she is hopeful that her and Brandon are going to be able to pull it off. She wants to give it a try, and her friends cannot believe it. And lastly, Austin and Jessica, they waited to the end to have their first fight. I was kind of sad about it. They go and they meet up with their friend and her sister separately, and we find out the reason that Austin doesn't really say I love you is because he just wants to know that it's real. Like, what if she just likes me and says she loves me because I'm this nice guy, and then I say it back and she finds out that she doesn't want a nice guy? Well, actually, she wouldn't do that because she's not Katie. She knows what she wants. But I think it just showed us another level of how he really feels about saying the word. He's been heartbroken before. He's thought that something was there that wasn't really there, and he doesn't want to go through that again. And that's I can understand that. His friend says he's been a nice guy, always been a nice guy, and he hopes that Austin does eventually, reveal more of his feelings to Jessica, because, he's a good dude, and he's just, it just sounds like he's really scared to have his heart broken, which I thought was, for some reason, it was endearing to me. Then we have Jessica, who talks to her sister, and her sister is just like, well, would you want him to say it if he didn't really mean it? And she's like, yeah, but I kind of feel like he's there and he wants to say it, because y'all know this is a really big deal for Jessica. But even more of a big deal is the fact that he is going to be gone up to 3 to 4 days out of the week within the month, doing traveling for his job. And I don't know if Austin has downplayed the travel thus far, but for whatever reason, it is really getting to Jessica. She brings it up again at dinner, and Austin is sick of it, all right? I don't want to hear no more about me traveling for work. I already told you, and I don't know what more you want me to say. Like, at this point, I feel like you're not even being supportive. Like, it's my job. Like, what do you want? And I was like, oh. Now, this is the most action that we have really seen out of Austin, and then they end up just kind of getting quiet and not talking about it anymore. And that night, she tries to bring it up again and say that he's being dismissive of her concerns, to which he responds again, I don't really understand what you're talking about, because we've already talked about it. What more do you want me to say? And here's the thing. First of all, I feel like Jessica's feelings about him being gone are valid. Of course you're going to be worried. I just married you. I don't want our marriage to be torn apart, our bond to be strained by any distance this early on. She's already been in a long distance relationship, so much in the same way Austin is vulnerable about saying I love you because he's been hurt, she's been in a long distance relationship, and she feels vulnerable about it because she knows how difficult it is. I think it's very similar. So I'm not saying that her feelings are not valid. It's just the way that she's going about it. I wish she would just say, I don't want you to quit your job. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from and tell me it's gonna be okay. She wants to be told that it's gonna be okay. I think that's really where she's coming from with hers. And Austin wants her to just stop bringing it up all the time if he's not going to tell her, if she's not going to tell him what's the point, like why do you keep bringing this up. So I understood their frustration. I think it was just a communication breakdown, and if they both could sit down and assure each other of the steps they're going to take to maintain their bond even when he's out of town, then they'll just come to a mutual understanding. It's not a difficult problem to solve, but I understood where she was coming from. And anybody who, if you have a spouse who is out of town a lot, or if you've been in those kind of relationships, I would like for y'all to chime in, because it's easy to say what we would do, but a lot of us have never really been there. So I would like to hear y'all's thoughts who have husbands or wives who travel for work. But and not like overseas, like military, because that's different, because you are gone, right? But I mean like travel week to week or whatever. But yeah, just a communication breakdown. The next day they wake up, it's awkward. You can tell that both of them actually do feel sorry for the way that they acted, but neither one of them wants to say it. And I felt so bad. I just wanted Jessica to be like, I'm sorry, I just want you to tell me everything's gonna be okay. And I wanted Austin to say, I know, and I'm gonna let you know that everything's gonna be okay. And then they just that's how I wanted it to end, but it didn't end that way. He actually ends up walking her out, and they just looking all sad, and well, I'll see you later. And oh, I didn't want it to end like that, but they're gonna be all right. I think they're gonna be all right. I did notice that Austin said, she kind of wants everything her way. She thinks we always have to be together. We always have to go to bed together. I was like, uh-oh. Now Jessica looked like he is getting a little tired of your control, so you might want to pull that back, okay? You can't always tell him what to do. He is his own man, okay, with his blonde hair and his flips. Let's see what else. That's it. I don't want to talk about nothing else. That's really it. That's pretty much sums it all up. So I've already been in the Lipstick Alley thread, so I can get the spoilers. So I already know who is still together as of today. I'm not going to reveal that, of course, but I already got an idea of who's doing what. Mindy and Zach, they're going to be with the foolishness for the last episode, and they going to act like they going to try to... Whatever, y'all. Everything about this show screams ratings. Mindy, girl, if you like it, I love it. Zach, if you want to do it, go ahead and do it. I don't really care. I don't really care anymore. Next week is the final episode. I'm not doing the reunion unless y'all tell me otherwise. I wasn't planning on it. So next week we're going to have a party because it's over, and I'm already excited. Y'all have a good rest of your day. I will see y'all for the next one. Like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, bye.